Dana White was in New York City. Didn't get the call, by the way. I didn't get the call. I thought that we were mending the fences. Logan Paul told me that we were mending the fences. He did some media back into the week. I believe it was on Thursday, ahead of the big Paramount debut. And can I tell you, like, I saw him make a few stops. He was on CBS this morning. He was on with the Barstool Boys, Robbie Fox, shout out to him. He was on with Stephen A. And can I tell you guys what my overall takeaway from this? Like, this was a collective, I don't know, 2 hours of so of interviews that I saw. I think it was around 2 hours. And it's amazing how little we actually learned from 2 hours of interviews. And my general feeling was, and I swear, I'm not trying to be Mr. Negative Nancy. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not trying to parse through I promise you I'm not. But I just couldn't believe how disconnected and how disinterested he seemed in the product. He seemed so disinterested in the product that I couldn't believe he's on with, the CBS This Morning crew. And it's a very fluff interview. I mean, it's as mainstream as he'll get, right? It's their equivalent of Good Morning America. And he's asked at one point, he says that Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison is the greatest female fight of all time. Now, my retort to that would be like, well, then why isn't it in the main event? But of course, they're not going to ask those types of questions. And of course, I get that. But he was actually, I'm blanking on his name, the former wide receiver, Nate Burleson. He's actually asked by Burleson, why? Which is a great question. Kudos to him. Why is it the greatest female fight of all time? And he just goes, well, Kayla, and we can't show you the clip because we don't want to get dinged for it, but he basically just says like, well, Kayla's she's a medalist, doesn't remember that she's a gold medalist, doesn't even remember that she's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. And she won in another organization, and she won in the UFC, and she's fighting Amanda Nunes, who's the GOAT, and so it's the greatest female fight of all time. Like, doesn't tell you about Olympic gold, doesn't tell me that they're former teammates, doesn't tell you that Amanda's retiring and coming back and wants to fight like none of that stuff. It's so easy to sell this. It is so easy to sell this. He's asked about it's called CBS Mornings. Sorry, not CBS This Morning. CBS Mornings with Gayle King and Nate Burleson, etc. He's asked about the main event. This is what he said regarding the main event. Everyone wants to fight. Everyone wants the winner of this fight to fight Ilia Topuria. I would say some people want to see, Paddy versus Arm. But anyway, we'll see how that plays out throughout the year. And then Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes fight. It's the greatest women's fight of all time. And it's just this kind of stuff, which is fine. It's an 8-minute interview. I get it. Then I see him on with Robbie Fox, and I think Robbie does a great job, and he's on Barstool, and he's asked about Colby Covington's ranking spot. Now, just I'm not trying to make this about thing, but like, if I'm sitting next to Dana White, I'm probably not asking about Colby Covington's rankings, but I'm not even asking about the rankings. But you want to see how disinterested Dana White is in all of this, and how little he actually cares about the current state of the company? Take a listen to this clip right here regarding the rankings.
In the latest rankings update, Colby Covington was moved down just one slot in the welterweight rankings. The guy's fought once in the last 752 days and lost. His last win was March of 2022. How does a guy like that stay in the top 15 for years after not fighting?
It's a great point.
Do you have those conversations about the rankings where it's why is this guy, like Jeff Neal was moved one spot above him? Strange, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. Great point.
This is what you say when you're like at a bar, Pete, and someone's telling you about like, the JFK assassination. You couldn't care less to speak about, and you're like, yeah, I guess there were 3 shooters. Yeah.
Do people talk to you about JFK at the bar? Is that?
It's just like.
So embarrassed.
It's a great point. Offers nothing. Offers absolutely nothing. Like, first of all, I could not care less about the rankings or Colby Covington's ranking spot. But if we're going to talk about it, can you give us something as the president and CEO of the company? Something. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, my God. You know what I loved? He's on with Stephen A. Smith, and Stephen A. asks him about meeting with the Paramount executives. He asks him about, this big meeting, and he asks him about like their big plans for 2026. Look at how good of a job he says of saying absolutely nothing. He says absolutely nothing here regarding 2026 and his meeting with the Paramount executives. Keep this in mind as you're listening to this clip.
Define kicking ass. Define taking this to another level. What does that look like?
Yep. So obviously That's beating last year. We got to beat last year. And I think I told you, next week I'm meeting with these guys from CBS and Paramount, and they have the 5 initiatives that they want to accomplish in 2026. If we beat last year as far as the UFC business goes, we achieve all of the initiatives that Paramount Plus and CBS want to achieve, then we've done it. We set our goals for 26. We kicked 26's ass, and now we're heading into 27.
Wow.
And there'll be a whole new set of goals.
What did we learn from that? We learned absolutely nothing. We kick their ass, and we have initiatives, and then we're kicking ass in 27. Nothing. There's a whole bunch of nothing. Am I crazy here? Am I being hypercritical, PT? What is going on? It's frustrating to listen to.
He seems like a man who's made all his money. Like, that's what this strikes me as, and that's probably not the look that the shareholders want. But Dana's an outrageous success to the point where you got to wonder how much is he getting himself up for these interviews, you know? Back in the day, he would have used this to ram an event down people's throat. Like, he would have tried to sell the next 3 events with that one spot he was in. Does he need to, like, that from his perspective? Like, I don't think he feels like he needs that anymore. And even in terms of that answer there, like, he used to be so good at grabbing attention, right? Like, you would be forced to listen to what he says, hear about all these fighters. That answer is just anti-audience, you know? Like, it's like all these MMA fans tuning in to listen to get some kind of answer, and you're talking about sectors. You know, Q4 is looking really good.
Yes.
You know, essentially that's what he's saying. It's just the opposite of what he used to be in this spot, and I think that's because he's been an outrageous success and he doesn't need to try anymore.
I could see a new fan being like, you guys are being hypercritical, you're making something out of nothing. No, we lived through prime Dana White. We lived through one of the greatest runs of any promoter in the history of promotion. We lived through 06, 07, 08, where he would sit through those scrums with freaking venom coming out of him, with like the passion that no one could replicate on the planet. And now you see him sitting back and be like, okay, define success. What is success? Well, we'll beat 25, then we'll go through 26 and be better than 25, and then we'll be primed for 27. What is that? What is this non-answer? This is a nothing answer. Now he's asked about, you know, the sanctioning bodies, about, you know, what he wants to do with boxing, and he completely contradicts everything that the TKO executives have been saying for the past 2 months. What Nick Khan has been saying, what Lawrence Epstein has been saying, what the great Mark Shapiro has been saying, completely contradicts it. Here's what he has to say regarding the sanctioning bodies.
Talk to us for a second about what you're doing in the sport of boxing from start to finish, your promotional arm and everything else in between.
So I've been talking smack about boxing for a long time, and now it's time to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to get rid of the sanctioning organizations. The best will fight the best. We're going to sign all the young up-and-coming guys. If you break into the top 10 and you're still undefeated, your undefeated record means something. You know what I mean? Everybody's undefeated in boxing because nobody fights anybody.
Right.
Everybody will fight everybody. And when you're undefeated, like John Jones. John Jones is nobody has ever beat John Jones, and he fought all the best in the world, you know? Then he moved up to heavyweight and walked right through the guy.
Yep.
So your O will actually mean something in boxing in the next couple of years.
How are you going to pull that off? Are you going to have fights every month?
Very good follow-up.
Is it going to be on Paramount Plus every month?
Yep.
How is that going to work?
Yes, Paramount Plus, and yeah, just about every month.
How are you going to be able to pull off getting some of these fighters who are under contract, obviously, whether it's...
Very good follow-up.
I'm just speaking hypothetically, the top ranks of the world, you know, the PBCs of the world and what have you. I mean, these fighters, some of the elite fighters are under contract with other folks. I mean, you just wait for the contract
Very
to
good
run out.
follow-up.
I mean, what's the deal? How's all that going to work?
All contracts eventually end, and I need to get out there and prove myself over the next couple of years. And, you know, when these guys' contracts are up, they're going to want to sign with us.
You doing this solo? You doing this with, I know you did something before with Nick Khan.
Yeah, it's TKO, me and Nick Khan, and a team of other talented boxing guys. And, you know, we've already we've already done some pretty big things before the first fight. We're going to start making a lot of announcements here soon, and it's been fun so far.
So back in August, and there's been a whole bunch of interviews regarding this from people not named Dana White, but here's just one example. Back in August, here's Lawrence Epstein, who's the general counsel of the UFC, works for TKO obviously as well, speaking about the complete opposite of what Dana White just said. Take a listen to this. This is on a shareholder call.
I want to be very clear that this new legislation does not intend to change anything in the existing Muhammad Ali Boxing Act. Every single word will remain exactly the same. We are proposing is adding some additional language to this.
So there you have it. There's all you need to know, and there's a million other examples where essentially Dana White just said, "I'm going to get rid of the sanctioning bodies." And here's Lawrence Epstein and others saying, no, we're not trying to change anything regarding the Ali Act, and that would be the biggest possible change that you can make. No, we're just going to add some other language to make it better. Well, which is it? Now, is he implying to someone like Stephen A. Smith, is he implying that like, hey, we're not going to adhere to what they're saying? We're just going to ignore them? Because you can't be in the boxing business and ignore the sanctioning, but you just can't. Unless you're going to try to change the legislation so that no one's going to bother you and you can do your own thing and have your own belt. But it runs contrary. And a lot of these interviews have run contrary to what the previous guy has said. And so let's see. He did announce on this this interview with Stephen A. what the main event is going to be. They announced, I was on with John Pollock and I was like, you know what? I have a feeling, I know they have this date. I have a feeling that they're not going to keep the date just because they haven't made an announcement. At that point, it was 2 weeks away. Now it's less than 2 weeks away. But they did announce on Friday morning that the first Zuffa Boxing show is going to be January 23rd in Las Vegas, the night before UFC 324. It's going to be at the Apex. And there it is. And I just can't wait to see how they come out of the gates and how they make the impact that they're expecting to make. Callum Walsh is going to be in the main event, someone who they've been very much behind, but like this is the debut. And maybe, maybe people got their hopes up when they found out about the players involved and they saw the Crawford-Canelo card. I always thought that it was going to be a scaled down version. They always told us it was going to be like a monthly show and there will be 2 to 3 mega events. Initially, I would have never guessed that the first event, and who knows, maybe the second, third, fourth, maybe all of them, who knows, was going to be at the Apex. I never thought that it would be at the Apex, that it would start at the Apex. I think MMA is bad at the Apex. I think boxing is going to be even worse at the Apex. The matches are longer. There's a greater chance of like some real lulls in the activity. I think it's going to be worse. And I think that they're going to get a lot of their famous buds, influencers, podcasters, all that stuff. They'll have them sitting around and they'll make it seem like an event, and they'll probably spice it up a little bit more than a UFC event because they have to, hopefully more like what we saw from NXT at the Apex a couple of years ago. But I think that this is going to feel void of energy. This is not, I don't know.
This is not an exciting launch.
No, it's not. And
like
you usually want to launch in an exciting way, right?
You think about the kind of things that we're saying about this project. It was like, this is going to change the industry. This is going to be a huge deal, all this kind of stuff. There's nothing there about that's shocking in any kind of way. It's happening at the Apex, which we know has won the ire of MMA fans for many years. And it's Callum Walsh, a guy, the boxer you are most synonymous with is the guy headlining. And look, Callum Walsh doing great things. He has a big fan base here in Ireland that's picked up a lot since the show they did at the 3 Arena. That didn't go too well, but he has picked up momentum and they've put him in good spots on the Crawford-Canelo undercard, stuff like that. But it is all very predictable. And when you're trying to start something new, you want it to be exciting. You want it to feel fresh. You want to have a buzz about it. This does not feel like this on paper right now, I have to say.
Can I just play devil's advocate for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it be preferable in your mind to pay for a massive show, make a big splash, and then the second, third, fourth shows are back at the Apex? Or would that also kind of feel like, hey, we thought we were getting this one thing and we're actually getting these? Like, I almost feel like this is the better of two not great options, if I'm being honest. Like, to start meagerly to start with this like smaller time thing, build up as you can, and then try to make the bigger splash once you have those things in place.
Sure, it's just the whole thing kind of runs contrary to how they all
for sure.
WWE and UFC. They haven't even put out a graphic of the card of any fight.
It's been under the radar completely.
It was a throwaway thing to Stephen A. who
This
had
is meant to
never
be a revolution. This is meant to be a revolution.
Yeah.
But
boxing.
For a fan perspective, I see why the other version would be hard to swallow, right? If it's like, we're coming out, we're swinging, we're going to do the best thing. They do this massive card, big headliners, tons of money spent. And
Forget
then
even big
fight
headliners, man.
two,
Forget even big headliners. We have the benefit of seeing Dana White launch a promotion very, very recently. Power Slap, you heard of it?
Yeah.
And how many videos, how many hype videos, how many graphics, how many tweets do we see about those matchups?
That's
Fair. Very fair.
What have we seen about this?
Nothing.
Nothing. We've
crazy
seen absolutely
one.
nothing.
Announced
I
2
know who
weeks
he
out.
is.
I just saw you launch something that no one wanted. This we actually want. I'm interested in. I hope.
And it's Morris' wheelhouse, right? Unfortunately, it's funny we're talking about this all together here, but what Zuffa Boxing needs is 2007 Dana White.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They need him being like, where you see Colin Walsh highlight reel going, look at this kid, this is insane. There's another kid, you probably haven't heard of him, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to bring you these fledgling pros no one's heard of. Wait, you see this other kid, highlight reel, bang. And suddenly you're like, shit, I can't wait to see these guys. Because that's what he's good at. That's what he's done for years. And that's what this needs. Right now, it just feels like I could have, what could you have predicted about this a million miles away? Like, right, the UFC have the Apex, this is where they do all the shows. They find out it's going to be a league format. What boxer do you think is going to headline it? I would have guessed Colin Walsh a million miles away. Like, so I guess that it just feels a bit, there's just no excitement around it.
Yeah, they're mailing it in.
Anyway.
They're mailing it in. Dana White is mailing it in, and this is a version of mailing it in as well. You're right. You're not wrong.
By the way, breaking news. Frank, we got breaking news. Are we trying to zero in? Is PT rocking essentials or what? Is that an essential? Wow, fear of God essential. Well, I mean, I didn't know you knew ball like that.
Oh, mate, you joking me?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think Chisanga Malata put me onto this, to be honest with you. Boy, what's wrong? What is
No,
this?
that's like
something else.
That's hip stuff.
He's giving you
like
credit.
I mean, that's
Oh, you can remember once I wore a Fred Perry polo to an event.
no. This is way cooler.
And Casey and Esther were kind of looking at me like, what's this? And I was like, what's going on? Start doing interviews, waited for one American fighter to sit down beside me. He goes, oh, are you in the Proud Boys? I was like, what's that? Like, yeah, they all wear these shirts. Google the Proud Boys. I was like, oh, well, that's probably not going to be a good look for MMA fighting.
No. This is good. There's no weird stuff attached to it. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that with Fred Perry.
They did, right? Am I going crazy? There's a Fred.
They
like
were wearing like
Who's to
Polish-
check?
Yeah, who is to check, Bob? Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.